Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Spellslinger and today I am bringing you my Chaos Blue Eyes deck profile. Big shoutouts to my roommate for allowing me to borrow some of his Blue Eyes cards and his Chaos cards, basically this entire deck he's letting me borrow to make the deck profile for. So big shoutouts to him, thank you very much. And also next week I will have, or at some point soon, I will have his variation of this deck profile. So I'm very excited to be able to showcase his personal deck profile for the Chaos Blue Eyes deck. So definitely stay tuned for that. And right before we jump into it, guys, please hit the subscribe button. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers and getting there very quickly. So thank you all for tuning in, and we will go ahead and go into the deck profile right now. Now, the objective of this deck is, of course, rank 8 spamming as well as link climbing into powerful monsters that you can set up negations and high attack stats for. And so we play a lot of cards that help facilitate that, and we will go ahead and, like I said, go ahead and get into that right now. So starting off with the Blue Eyes engine, we of course are playing 3 copies of Blue Eyes White Dragon. Nothing really too notable to say that hasn't been said about Blue Eyes before. 3,000 attack, 2,500 defense, blah blah blah, devastating engine of destruction, something like that. Play 3 of them. We need it for a couple cards in the deck, and after that, going next into the Blue Eyes portion of the deck, we are playing 2 copies of Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon. Reveal a copy of the Blue Eyes in your hand, special summon the alt. You can target and pop a monster that your opponent controls, but it can't attack that turn. We're more so just using it for the rank 8s. This deck has a lot of different ways to get out level 8 monsters, and we'll go ahead and get into kind of a tech card, I guess. Galactic Spiral Dragon. If you control 2 or more light and or dragon monsters, you can special summon this from either the hand or the graveyard, which is really cool. And then you can make all monsters on your side of the field level 8, which is really cool, because there are monsters that we are playing in this deck that don't or that aren't level 8. So if we have those on the field, we can activate the effect of the Spiral Dragon to make those monsters level 8, so we can go into the plays, into the level or rank 8 plays that we would normally be doing anyway. Next up, we're going to be talking about our Chaos engine. We are playing 1 copy of Chaos Dragon Legionnaire and 1 copy of the Chaos Creator. Now, Chaos Dragon Legionnaire, pretty standard. You banish a total of 3 light and or dark monsters, and then you get a specific effect based on what you based on the combination of monsters that you banish. If they are all light, you can special summon a monster from your graveyard in defense position. If they are dark, you can shuffle 1 random card from your opponent's hand into the deck. And if they are both light and dark, then you can destroy up to 2 cards on the field, which is pretty cool. And that destruction effect doesn't target, which is another cool thing. And kind of like with the effect of the alternative dragon, if you use that effect, if you use any of those effects once it's summoned, Chaos Dragon Legionnaire cannot attack for the rest of the turn. As far as the Chaos Creator goes, you have to, of course, special summon it from your hand by banishing a light and a dark monster from your graveyard. And then the cool thing about the Chaos Creator is that we do a lot of banishing in this deck, so when it's summoned, because we banish a lot of monsters throughout the course of the turn and the combo, with the Chaos Creator, when it's summoned, you target 3 monsters that are 3 monsters that are banished. You special summon 1 of them and then shuffle, and you don't shuffle, you just place the other 2 on the bottom of your deck in any order. So you're recycling through your resources, getting extension, doing a whole lot of stuff. So that's really cool. And we play 1 of each. Mostly just because the Chaos engine does take a lot of resources to set up, but we just want to be able to get into those plays every so often when they come up. Another not necessarily a Chaos card, but kind of a similar like banish to summon, we have Arch Nemesis Escados. This card is absolutely busted going second. You have to special summon it from your hand by banishing 3 monsters with different types from your graveyard and or face-up field. So it doesn't just have to be the graveyard that you banish from. Now, the absolutely busted part about this is, y'all remember VFD, very fun dragon. This is a mini VFD. Basically, what happens is that you declare 1 monster type on the field, destroy all of those monsters on the field with that type, and then until the end of the next turn, neither player can special summon monsters with that type. And then you can only activate that effect once per turn, obviously. But the other effect of Escados is that it can't be destroyed by card effects. So obviously, depending on what deck you're playing against, like let's say that they're playing, just as an example, they're playing like Dark World or something like that. You would call Fiends, destroy all of the monsters that they control on their side of the field, and then going into their turn, they can't special summon Fiend monsters. It's absolutely busted. Escados is an amazing card, and it works really well with this deck just because we banish a lot of different cards, and we also incorporate the danger monsters in there as well. So we have a variety of different monster types that we can choose from. Continuing on with the Chaos portion of the deck, we are playing 2 copies of Starliege Seifert. Basically, this is just to get other pieces. You send any number of dragon monsters from your hand or field to the graveyard and add 1 dragon monster from your deck to your hand, whose levels equal the total original levels of those monsters sent to the graveyard. So you'll be banishing this card for one of the baby dragons, or if you have 2, you can send them both to get another piece like the alt dragon or something like that. But yeah, Seifert is just a really good way to cycle through the monsters that you want to see in your hand, just making the deck a little bit more consistent. And then the secondary effect, you can banish the card from the graveyard and target a level 8 light or dragon monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand. You can only use that effect once per turn, but we go through the graveyard and the banish pile so much that you want to be able to make sure that you have the adequate amount of cards and like recyclability that Starliege provides you. So for that reason, we play 2, and there is combos that I will show when we do test hands tomorrow that will showcase what you're able to do with these cards. And next up, still with the Chaos engines, we have one of the White Dragon Wyverbuster and one of the Black Dragon Collapse Serpent. We would absolutely run more of these if they were not both limited at 1. Basically, you have to summon them by banishing the opposite attribute. So if you have the White Dragon Wyverbuster in your hand, you have to banish a dark monster from your graveyard to summon it, and then if the face-up card leaves the field, you can add the opposite one from the deck. So if you link off, let's say you have this one on the field, you link this off, you're able to search the Black Dragon, and vice versa. If you link off the black, you're able to add the white from the deck, and this is an important part of a combo that we get into later. So, and I will of course be showcasing that when we get into that a little bit later on. So that wraps up the Chaos monsters that we are playing. We are now going to be going into the dangers that we are playing. We are playing 3 Bigfoot. This is I'd say that next to the, everything that we're running is really good at being able to get out like level 8 monsters, but the danger engine is really good at being able to sounding a little bit redundant here, but getting out level 8 monsters. If you're unfamiliar, I'll give you a quick recap of what danger monsters do. You reveal the card that you're activating in your hand, so you would activate the effect by revealing the Bigfoot, and then your opponent randomly chooses 1 card from your hand to discard, and if the card that's discarded is not the monster that is not the monster that you revealed, you special summon it and then draw a card. So it's a free level 8 plus a draw, which is really good. So for that reason, we play 3 of them, and then if it is the one that's discarded, you can pop a face-up card on your opponent's side of the field, which is really cool. Nothing too much to say there, just really good at being able to get out your level 8s. And in the same vein, we are playing 3 copies of Danger Thunderbird for the same reason. Really, it is a level 8, really easy to get out. The secondary effect allows you to pop face down cards that your opponent controls, so kind of an opposite effect of Bigfoot. But more so, like I was saying, with the dangers, we just want to make sure that we're able to get out level 8 monsters so we can facilitate the rank 8 plays. Next up, we are playing the 1 Danger Ogopogo. It is a level 8. And its effect is basically a Foolish Burial for danger monsters. So if it is sent to the graveyard, then you can just dump a card if you needed like a third. If you needed a third typing for Escados, then you could do that, or just another lighter dark monster to get your Chaos Engine going. It's a good card. We run it at 1. It's not too big. It's got 3,000 defense, but it's not, super great. But we do include it because it is a level 8. Now, recently released from the limited list, we have a 2 Danger Nessie. I'm super excited about this. This is basically a Rhoda for the Danger archetype. If it's discarded, you can add any Danger monster from your deck to your hand, and it just makes it a little bit more makes the Danger Engine a little bit more consistent. It is a level 7, so you won't be able to get into your rank 8 plays. There is a way with the Galactic Spiral Dragon. You can make it a level 8, but for the most part, you're going to want to manipulate your hand so that you have the Nessie to be discarded, so that you can add other monsters, other danger monsters to your hand to help facilitate more level 8 plays. But I'm super excited because we can play 2 now, not just the 1, so I'm pretty happy about that. And the last of the danger monsters we are playing 1 of the Danger Jackalope. The effect is one of those that we're going to actually want to trigger by getting it discarded. You can special summon any danger from your deck. So we're going to be, if of course we are able to proc the effect, we're going to be summoning any of the level 8s that we have, which is going to be the Bigfoot, the Thunderbird, or the Ogopogo. So just a free special summon if you're able to manipulate your hand, or if you get lucky on a die roll, to be able to special summon from deck. So that is pretty cool there. And that's going to do it for the main deck monsters. I'll go ahead and throw in our hand trap lineup that we are playing. We're going to be playing 3 Ash and 3 Imperm. You can swap out the Imperm for anything else that you'd like to play. If you know you're going to be playing against something else. Ash is always going to be good. The Imperms I just kind of choose by default because they're just being Imperm being what it is, it's pretty good. I don't really have a whole lot to say about this. If you wanted to just put in more danger cards and side in the hand traps, like going second or something like that, then you could do that. I know not a whole lot of people are super fond of putting in a lot of hand traps when you're playing like the Danger Engine and stuff like that. But I found that playing at least a little or a small lineup of hand traps can be very useful. Just depending, because one thing that I will say with this deck being a level 8 base deck, you do brick, and you want to make sure that you have a way to interact with your opponent so they don't just absolutely obliterate you. So we run a smaller hand trap lineup, but you can absolutely swap out these with other hand traps that you see fit. Alright, so getting into the spells, we are playing 3 copies of Melody of Awakening Dragon. Pretty simple. Discard 1 card, add up to 2 dragon monsters with 3,000 or more attack and 2,500 or less defense from your deck to your hand. You search your alternative dragon, you search your Blue Eyes, and funnily enough, you can actually search the Levianeer as well as the Escados, because they both have 3,000 attack and 2,500 or less defense. So if you need a quick pickup, and you draw multiple, or if you already have the Blue Eyes engine in your hand, you can search any one of these and just go from there, which is really cool. So searching cards, really good. Play 3 of that, kind of a no-brainer. After that, we are playing 3 copies of Tradein. Being a level 8 based deck, you absolutely want to be playing 3 copies of Tradein. You discard a level 8 monster and draw 2 cards. The one thing that I forgot to say about Melody, actually, I'll get that in here real quick. Both of these cards say discard one card as the cost, and with us running the danger engine that we're running, that will be able to trigger the effects of the danger monsters. So specifically, we would want to, if you draw it that way, of course, if you have any of these three in your hand, then you can send this off of the cost of these cards, draw your two cards, search your two cards, and then activate the effect of Nessie or the effect of Jackalope if you are able to get those cards in your opening hand, and then just continue your plays from there. So run 3 copies of these, absolutely. All right, and the counterpart for our Starliege Safer, we are running 3 copies of Chaos Space. So I really like Chaos Space, kind of just rounding out the the Chaos engine. You send a light or dark monster from your hand to the graveyard, and then add a dark or light monster that cannot be normal summoned or set from your deck to your hand with a level from 4 to 8 and with a different attribute than that monster. So a little bit wordy, but basically, you have, so let's just say just for example, it doesn't matter what monster you have. So the only combo that you're going to be doing with this is you are going to be, depending on if you have a light or dark monster. In this case, Jackalope is a dark. So you would activate the Chaos Space, send the Jackalope from your hand to the grave, and your the attribute is dark. So in this case, you are going to be adding the White Dragon Wyverbuster because it cannot be normal summoned or set and is a different attribute than the monster that we sent. So from there, pretty cool. It kind of just facilitates those plays. So since the dark is already in the graveyard, you can just banish that to special summon this and then go off into the plays that I will showcase when we do our test hand videos. But yeah, so we definitely want to see Chaos Space in the opener. It's just a super good card to be able to go into the Chaos plays to be able to get us those interruptions that we want on our end board. So that's the main one. And then during the course of that combo, you're able to banish this card from the graveyard and then target one of the banished light or dark monsters that cannot be normal summoned or set, and then place that monster on the bottom of the deck and draw 1 card. So kind of just as a quick example, when you summon this one, you link it off so it's in the graveyard, and then once that's in the graveyard, you search the other one, you banish that one to summon the other one, and then that'll be in the graveyard, of course. And then what you can do is banish the Chaos Space, return the other baby that you have to the bottom of the deck, and then draw 1 card. And then after that, once this is in the graveyard, then you search out the other half of the one that you put at the bottom of the deck. So it's kind of just a really cool cycle of being able to recur resources as well as being able to let you see new cards. So that is why we play 3 of the Chaos Space. Alright, and then the power one-ofs we're playing 1 Monster Reborn and 1 Foolish Burial. We play the Foolish Burial because we need to see some cards in the graveyard. We need to get for the Chaos Engine, for the Danger Engine, stuff like that. You can send Foolish Burial, like if you're mid-combo, you can use Foolish Burial to send like the Spiral Dragon, and then special summon it if you have the 2 or more dragons, which is more than likely. Special summon the dragon from the graveyard and then make everything level 8, which is really cool. And then Monster Reborn, because sometimes we are unlucky with our danger hits, so we want to be able to make sure that we have a way of consistently getting 2 or more level 8s on the board. Alright, so now for the extra deck, we are going to be playing the 1-2 punch of Draglubion and number 100. So, quick recap, I've showcased these cards in a couple deck profiles, so I'll just make it really quick. Draglubion, it's just generic 2 level 8. It cannot be targeted with card effects, and then you detach a monster and you use 2 level, like number XYZ dragon monsters from either the graveyard or the extra deck. Use one of them as the material, and then the other one to summon, and then you're just able to summon that. For OTK plays, you use that effect to go into the number 100 Numeron Dragon, which what you do, you detach a material, and then it gains attack based on the combined ranks on the field times 1,000. So at the bare minimum, using this combo line, it'll have 9,000 base attack. So if you're able to get anything else out, then the attack will only go up from there. And then the secondary effect being a mini board nuke if it's sent to the graveyard, which is cool. And then on the same combo line, you are also able to go into number 38, Hope Harbinger. It is a spell negation and a attack redirection. So if your opponent declares an attack on a monster, you can activate this effect to be able to redirect that attack, which is nice. Your opponent probably won't play into that too often if they know what the effect of this is, but it is just a good option to have. And then the last card we are playing that you can go into off of the Dragublion combo is the number 92 Heart Earth Dragon. Heart Earth Dragon is pretty cool. Basically, it puts your opponent on a timer. It can't be destroyed by battle, and your opponent takes any battle damage that would have been taken from battles, including this card. So, like I was saying earlier, since it's at a base 0, you can attack into something that your opponent has. If they have a monster with like a really high attack value or defense value, you can attack into it, and your opponent will take the damage. So that's something that you can do with it. But the main effect that we're using it for, during your opponent's end phase, you can detach a material and banish all other cards your opponent currently controls that were normal or special summoned or were set that turn. So it puts your opponent on a clock. They won't even go to the graveyard, so cards that will that have effects that proc, and once they're like sent to the graveyard or in the graveyard, they won't be able to get that. They're just nuking their whole board and and banishing it, which is really cool. So you can set up an end board with negations and this clock, which is really cool. And then the final effect of it, if this card is destroyed while it has a material, you can special summon this card from the graveyard, and when you do, it gains 1,000 attack for every card currently banished. So you won't be using that too often, but it is just a good effect to know that you have. So these 4 cards are going to be used for the Dragublion combo. And yeah, we'll go ahead and get into the other cards that we are now playing. Alright, Galaxy Eyes Cypher Dragon, Galaxy Eyes Full Armor Photon Dragon, and Galaxy Eyes Cypher Blade Dragon. This is all one combo, so you get your base 2 level 8 monsters, you slap this guy on, and then after that, you would slap on the Galaxy Eyes Full Armor Photon Dragon, because you can use Galaxy Eyes monster as or a Galaxy Eyes Exceed monster as material for this summon, which is really cool. More than just being a 4,000 attack monster, you can detach you can detach a material from Full Armor Photon Dragon and target a face-up card your opponent controls and destroy it. So, overlay into Cypher Dragon, overlay into Full Armor Photon Dragon, detach, destroy something, and then you can attack with the 4,000, and then if you need to go into main phase 2 after that, you can overlay into Galaxy Eyes Cypher Blade Dragon, which gets you another detach and destroy, and then you have a 3,200 attack monster for next turn. The only downside with Cypher Blade Dragon is that it cannot be used as material. So depending on, of course, the scenario, you go into your Cypher Dragon, overlay for the Full Armor Photon Dragon, detach and attack over, and then you would go into the Sky Thunder or go into Zeus. Spoiler for the other Exceed monster. Go into Zeus then during that main phase 2 instead of going into the Cypher Dragon. But that is also, it's just something else that you can do. These 4 cards work really well together. So just to review again, you have your base 2 level 8 monsters, you overlay into the Cypher Dragon, and then you overlay into the Full Armor Photon Dragon. You detach to pop a card on your opponent's field, you attack with the 4000, you can overlay into Zeus, and then you have 3 cards total for Zeus, so you'll have enough material to use the effect of Zeus to nuke the entire field except for itself. Or if you just after that want to go into the Cypher Blade Dragon to get just another singular pop, then you can do that too. But these 4 cards work really well together. From what I've used and played against, it's really, really good. And then the very last Exceed monster that we're playing, Wunding Girsu, when it's summoned, you can send a card your opponent controls to the graveyard. That's the only effect that we're using for it. It's just non-targeting removal, so cards like Dragoon, cards like Winda that you can't really out very easily, you will be able to with this, which is really cool. So just non-targeting removal, not a whole lot to say there. Getting into the last little bit of the extra deck, we are playing 6 Link monsters. We are starting off with a Striker Dragon. It's the only thing you're using it for. We aren't using it for any effect. The only thing we are using it for is the Link monster that we are using to get the babies off the field. So you would summon one of the babies and then link it off to be able to search out the other one, and then you of course banish that one to summon this one, and then you have your material for the next card that we're going to be playing, which is a copy of Hieratic Seal of the Heavenly Spheres. And of course, Striker Dragon being a dragon helps because the requirements is two dragon monsters. Now this card is really good to end on. You once per your opponent's turn, if this card is in the extra monster zone, which is really important, you have to have it up in either extra monster zone. You can tribute 1 monster from your hand or field. 9 times out of 10, it will be the spheres. You can tribute those monsters and then return 1 face-up card on the field to the hand. So it's really good for interrupting your opponent's plays. And then the secondary effect, if this card is tributed, and which it will be by its own effect because it tributes the monster that you send. If it's tributed, you can special summon 1 dragon monster from your hand or deck, but make its attack and defense 0, and then you can only use the effect once per turn. So you can get out another level 8, you can get out just anything really. If you know, hopefully that monster will be able to stand until the next turn. But there is a really cool play that you can do if you have both of the Heavenly Spheres and IP Masquerena, which next card, IP Masquerena. So if you have both of these out during your opponent's turn, you can of course tribute this to interrupt their play, get out any dragon monster. It doesn't really matter, but I guess if you wanted to make the most out of it, you could get a Galactic Spiral Dragon, and then immediately after that, or you can wait until, if your opponent has more plays, use the effect of IP Masquerena to link summon on your opponent's turn, using the IP Masquerena and the Galactic Spiral Dragon to go into the next card, Nightmare Unicorn, which on summon you can discard a card and then target and then spin a card that your opponent controls, which is really cool. So just more disruption if you end on IP and the Heavenly Seals or Heavenly Spheres. Then you just have 2 or 3 levels of interruption to make it so that your opponent can't really do much of anything, which is really cool. And then the last 2 cards that we are playing 1 Saryuya. This could probably be something else. If you wanted to play a second Zeus or a second copy of Spheres, then you could probably do that. But for the most part, Saryuya is really good depending on the amount of materials that were used for its summon. you can do different things. Two, if you use two, then monsters that are normal or special summoned to zones that it points to gain 300 attack and defense. If you use 3 materials, then once per turn you can special summon a monster from your hand. And then 4 is the main one. If you use 4 materials, then you can draw 4 cards and then place 3 cards from your hand on the bottom of your deck, so you can stack your hand to have what you need to. You can see 4 new cards and then just cycle. So that is what this is used for. But the more often one is, of course, going to be the access code talker. It's just probably the best boss monster in the game right now. You can use, or one of the link materials used for its summon, depending on its rating, which most of the time will be the unicorn. Since it's link 4 or link 3, pardon. It gains 1,000 attack times one of its materials link rating. So it gains 3,000 attack. It'll put it at 5,300 by default. And then you can banish different attributed link monsters from your graveyard to target and destroy, not even target, it doesn't target, to destroy monsters that your opponent controls. So we don't play very many different ones. We play lights, darks, and Earth. So the most you'll be able to get out of that is 3 total, but there's so much other removal that you have access to in this deck that you'll be able to just do what you need to do to clear your opponent's boards, plus 5,300 attack once it's summoned out. Alright, yeah, that wraps up the main and extra deck. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Please hit the subscribe button on the way up to 1,000 subscribers, and tomorrow we will have a test hands video for you. I really enjoy making these types of videos for you. If you do have a archetype or deck that you would like to see showcased in a future deck profile, definitely let me know. And big shout outs to my roommate for allowing me to borrow some of his Blue Eyes cards. He was a really big help with that, so thank you to him. And yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow with the test hands video. I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you then.